In the previous lesson, we started exploring composition and its importance in photography, and you've been introduced to few of the rules of composition by Mr. Saravanan Janakarajan and Mr. Poochi Venkat. Now, in this lesson, we continue our learning about composition, and you're going to be introduced to the guidelines on patterns and textures, and we will also discuss on when we can break these composition rules. Let's go over to Mr. Saravanan Janakarajan as he further explains about these.
The fourth rule of composition is the patterns and textures. Patterns is something which we can see in every aspect of our life. We can see them in our clothes, we can see them in markets where we go. We can see them everywhere. So how you capture them creatively will help you create good pictures. For example, you could have a crate of red apples and you take a very close picture, go close and take a picture of them and show continuous red elements. That makes a good picture. But also if you have, let's say, a green apple amongst the red, that will be a disruptive in nature, and that will also make the picture come out well. So patterns can be both natural or man-made. Textures also in life can be natural or man-made. Human skin, the bird feathers, these are all great textures and patterns which we can photograph. One common thing in patterns and textures is that you have to go close. You have to take a very close picture of them to exhibit what they look like. For example, here you have a picture of a man-made pattern and a natural pattern. Flowers are great natural patterns with their petals arranged in a particular sequence. Man-made patterns like buildings and other architectural wonders, you can see a pattern in that. The textures, for like I said, in terms of animal skin has a great texture. The bird feathers have a great texture and patterns in them. The closer you go, the more dramatic the composition looks, and the more detail if you want to get out of the patterns and textures, it is better to use something called as a macro lens, which will give you a magnification of 1:1 to get the details of patterns and textures. Now we've talked about the rules of composition, but we must understand that photography is an art. It's also, as much as it's a science, it's also an art. So the rules are meant to be broken. So how do you or when do you break the rules of composition? It is completely left to the creativity of photographer when you want to break the rules. But there are few scenarios when the rules will have to be broken. Now what are those scenarios? One is when you are capturing action, and second is when there are multiple elements in the picture that would need attention. So let's look at these scenarios. So when you are capturing action, be it wildlife, be it any sports, a few pointers you need to keep in mind is that try to shoot as wide as possible. A lot of people I have seen have this ability to shoot wider frames of action, while people with the zoom lenses would like to go closer to the place where the action is happening. The problem with going closer to the place where the action is happening and not shooting wide is that you might never have enough frame to capture all elements, and even if you capture all elements, you might not have enough negative space to show motion or to show the miscellaneous parts of that frame. Now if you shoot wide, then in post-processing you can crop all the other unwanted parts, but if you shoot too close, there are more than enough chances that you will be actually cropping the subjects themselves. So to keep all key elements in focus in an action sequence, you have to use a close aperture of lens. The f number has to be higher. So f8, f10, f12, f16, depending on the light availability, is a great number to capture action, because you need to keep the various elements which are taking part in that action to be sharper. Now look at this picture. When the action was happening, the frame was such that the subject, the bird, was not in the as per the rules of third. It was in the center of the picture. But once I had shot the space, the negative space in that frame helped me to crop it post-processing in such a way that I could follow the rules of third. Now, it is not possible to follow rules of third or any of these rules when action is happening because it is too fast. So it is always better to do the post-processing cropping for an action sequence, and thereby you will have to shoot as wide as possible for an action. Here there are multiple elements involved. There is the path, which is the leading line for this picture. There is the black buck jumping, which is the main subject. And how do we keep this picture? The black buck is looking towards the left, so which means that there has to be more negative space in the left. But if I give too much negative space in the left, the path will be ignored. So keeping all that in mind, you have to break the rule of thirds here and keep the black buck in the center, because the path also, which is the leading line, is also important in this picture. Thereby you have kept the picture, the subject in the middle of the picture, and still the picture looks good. It shows very clearly that a particular animal is doing an action, jumping over a road. Here in this picture, there are multiple elements involved. There is a sky, there is a background of trees, there is a jeep, there are people, there is a leading line of path, the road, and there is a subject jumping across the road. Now we have broken few rules here. We have broken the rule of horizon. We have divided the picture into half. We have broken the rule of thirds also by keeping the subject in the center of the picture. The reason is because if we follow the rules of third here, then we will have the jeep off-centered and the path also off-centered, which will not look nice. So there are times when, to accommodate all the elements in the picture, you will have to break the rules. And if that makes the picture look aesthetically nice, then you should break the rules. So there are situations where in wildlife or in weddings where there are people or subjects looking at opposite directions. So now you have to give a negative space in all left as well as right. So the best way to do this is to keep the subject in center. Now if you do that, then you have negative space in both left and right, and then the picture looks better. So the composition here again takes into care all the other elements. Today in this session, we saw the rules of textures and patterns. We also saw the situations where we might have to break these rules. I would like to re-emphasize, use all the elements in a photograph, try to stick to these rules, but if the rules are in conflict to the elements, then be brave and break these rules also. Photography is an art and composition is a guideline to bring out the creativity in you. Try out as many compositions as possible and you will master these composition techniques.
I hope that now you are gaining confidence in understanding the various rules of composition and are eager to experiment and explore these various rules as you take your photographs. So now, step out and shoot the photographs and try out these rules and see for yourself what works and what doesn't.